What's up guys, how you doing today? Welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here, coming up at you live from Canada with reasons not to move to Canada. Oh, it's funny guys, but that's the topic that one of the video you like guys, and I got more questions. There people are saying, Igor, tell us more reasons why you should not move to Canada. Well, I gave you in the last video top reasons not to move to Canada, which is going to pop up here, and I'm going to leave the link in the end of this video. Now those reasons were a little bit related to Canada. Now this video I want to relate to you guys. If you're planning to come to Canada, why you should reconsider that, why you should not come. Do not come. That's how I'm going to name this video. Don't come to Canada. Alright guys, so if you're planning to come to Canada to get rich fast, no, don't come to Canada. If you're thinking to come here to get rich fast, you're going to get disappointed. It's very difficult to get rich in Canada. The more money you make, the more taxes you pay. The more money you get, you start to get mortgages, you start to get cars, you start building assets and this kind of stuff. But what I'm trying to say is the cost of living is so high that you're not getting that rich. And if you're planning here and you're thinking of visiting your home country at least once a year, means that you have to take off from your workplace. And if you're living in Asia and even Europe, it's still, Canada is everywhere. It is far from your home place, unless you're from Mexico or you're from America. If you're somewhere from another continent, then it's a lot of travel and it's lots of money you have to save up, and you end up spending all of the money that you make for your family and whatever you save just to visit your friends and parents back home. All I'm saying guys, if you're thinking to come here just because you want to get rich fast, that's not going to happen. Then you should not come to Canada. The second reason why you should not come to Canada, don't come to Canada, is if you are planning to get the government support. If you are planning to come to Canada just because you want to get the government support, I know lots of people like that. There is a small percentage of those guys who are thinking, I'll come to Canada, it's such a developed country, I'm going to get government support, I don't have to work, I'm going to get a house. You know, the medicine here is free. There is lots of government benefits, for example, welfare, employment insurance, disability payments, lots of stuff to support you from going down, which makes this country so great. But if you are planning to come here just to take advantage of this system, to take the child benefits and just keep on recreating more kids without doing anything and getting that kind of government support, then don't come, because you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to live a happy life, because getting those benefits, it's like minimum. It's not good for your children. You're not going to be living in the best community. You're not going to surround your children with the best environment, and you're always going to be looked down at by other people, because you're going to be just reaping the benefits of Canada, which by the way lots of Canadians extremely hate. So you might even get exposed to that kind of hatred here if you just do that. So if you're planning to come to Canada just to reap those benefits, then I don't think you should come to Canada. Number 3, don't come to Canada if you're not an entrepreneur. Well, you cannot come in Canada anyways if you're not an entrepreneur, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of investment and risk. Now if you're planning to come to a different country, you have to be a risk taker as well, because entrepreneurs are risk takers. So you have to sell your house, you have to sell your car, you have to leave your job and move to a different country, to a community where you probably don't know anyone, and to a place where you might not feel comfortable even, because you never know how it is going to be in a different place where you have to adapt to the culture that might be different from your home culture, and many other things, especially money, because you have to spend so much of time, so much of money, and there is also a risk that you might not successfully even immigrate to Canada. You might spend all your money for education and then not stay in Canada, and you would lose all of that money. So you have to be an entrepreneur to come to Canada. If you're not ready to take the risk for a better life, then that's one of the reasons why you should not come to Canada. Another reason why you should not come to Canada is passport. If you're thinking by getting Canadian passport you'd be eligible to work in Australia, New Zealand, United States, as a gateway to work in any country, then you might be disappointed, because Canadian passport would let you freely travel the world. Of course, that's how it works, but it does not mean that you will be eligible to work anywhere in those countries without their permission. So you would have to get a visa, working visa. Even Canadians cannot work in the US if they don't get the whatever the visa, H1B or whatever the visa is there. What is the visa there in the US? H1B, yeah? Yeah, you still need a visa even if you are in Canada. So if you're thinking to come to Canada as a stepping stone to another country where you want to get don't come here, go there directly, because this is not going to be a stepping stone. It's going to be another immigration process that might be successful, might be not successful, and by coming to Canada you might not end up in the country where you want to be. So if you're planning to go there and you want to be there versus Canada, then that's a reason why you should not spend so much of time in Canada. If you really want to live in another country, then don't come to Canada. The last reason, guys, is willingness to adapt, integrate to another culture, because if you're coming to a different country, everything might be different from what you're used. Regardless of which part of the world you're coming from, it might be different here, and it causes different things like depression, and people are mourning for their homes. I've seen some Russian guys who are just watching Russian TV, living in Canada, but actually they're mentally totally back home thinking about their own stuff. I've seen some people from Arabic countries who are thinking about their cultures, about their traditions when coming to Canada, and they try to stick in their communities, closed communities, not willing to integrate with other people. Yes, it's better for the kids. Kids are probably going to be able to integrate anyways because they're going to go to local schools, but if you're not willing to integrate, it might be really tough for you. For example, when I was in Toronto a month ago, there was one lady I met. She was crying there. What had happened is her daughter from Ukraine came to Canada, got married here. The entire family immigrated, and basically her grandfather, the lady's husband, has passed away in Ukraine. So they brought her here on super visa, because they couldn't do the immigration papers to sponsor her. So the lady here, they rented her an apartment, and now the lady is sitting here watching, and she came to me and she spoke in Russian. She said, "Igor, the place is beautiful. I'm watching the trees, I'm watching the ducks and everything on the Lake Ontario. It looks awesome there. Everything is perfect, but it's not home, Igor. It's still not home. It sucks." And she was crying there. She said she cries every day. So they brought the lady without her willingness to be here. She doesn't know the language, she's not ready to change, and there is no one to help her. Her daughter comes to her home one time a day just to bring groceries and check on her. So she's living separately from her family in a rental apartment. So if you're like one of those people, like that lady, that you're going to be heartbroken when you come here because you're not willing to integrate and depressed, then that might be a reason for you guys not to come if you're so much in love with the place where you're already in. Especially it is for senior guys. The older you get, the more difficult it is to integrate, to change. Alright guys, enough of negativity. Subscribe to this channel to find out about a million of reasons why you should come to Canada. I know that you guys enjoy negative videos, but this is one of those, just one of them videos. I promise you guys, all the other videos I make is all about Canada, what I love about Canada, and I immigrated here. I'm totally happy with the decision I made, and by the way, I'm seeing lots of business opportunities here to get more money in Canada by working and hard work. So if you're planning to come to Canada, you're willing to adapt to the culture, if you're willing to work with the system and not abuse the system, but work with the local communities and local cultures, and you're willing to embrace the change and embrace the different culture that might be totally different from what it is at home, then this country might be for you guys. If you're ready to risk, if you are an entrepreneur, you're a risk taker, you're a strong person that is willing to take risks to come to another country and build their family, build their home, and make a better future for your children, then Canada might be for you guys. So if Canada is for you guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so we can see you in the next video. And of course, comment what do you think about this video, what you agree on, what you don't agree. Tell me your story, guys, because your story is brighter than mine. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.